what we've done here is we've created a 10 times increase in the flow rate of this spring at the driest time of year. What's really amazing too is it's not just this spring anymore. Now it's many coming out of the hillside all throughout here. This is just in a few years, we can make a huge impact when we hold water with the earth, when we work with nature to create a more livable and thriving planet. Here in this valley, we've implemented a decentralized water retention system. And so you can see a series of water bodies holding the water in the ground here. And what that's doing is it's hydrating and charging up a huge amount of water. And so you can see down in here, this wet, lush, green area. Because we've got all this terracing up high here, these water bodies up high, all recharging the earth, we now have more consistent, steady water coming out lower downstream at the times where we most need it. This spring here at the bottom that we tapped when we did this is now flowing more than 10 times what it used to. Not only that, but there's many springs coming out of the hillside all across there now, rather than just a few small seams. And this is just in a few years, we can make a huge impact when we hold water with the earth, when we work with nature to create a more livable and thriving planet. Here I'm walking along what I like to call a waterway terrace. We can see this terrace is gently leaned in this way into the hillside, and then it's pitched that way. So if we want to move water from one place to another, let it really slowly flow along a landscape, to be able to slow down and enter into the earth, this is a great way to do so. So in this case, we've got a pond up here, which is catching water coming down another gully. And then that's overflowing into this terrace that brings the water all the way around into our other parts of the system over there. Now, this helps hydrate this whole area below us. But another thing that it does, which is really nice, is increases the catchment for our system over there. So this way, even a raindrop that's falling all the way over on this side of the hill is coming down into this water body all the way back along this terrace to the third pond in the system and then down. And so in this case, this was a little mud hole kind of pond, and you can see it's such a nice little bit of habitat now. It's helping hydrate this area, nice water quality for amphibians, insects, deer to come and drink. And before, when we came up here, we scared off some ducks, and so everyone really enjoys a water body like this. And so this way, with this waterway terrace that exits out this way, it's leaning into the hillside and then along the hillside that way, helps catch all of this water and send that to our retention system as well. Now we're making our way up to the Copper Cup Spring, one of the springs that we tapped when we first did all of the earthworks of the project. One of the most interesting, inspiring, and hopeful parts of this project here is the difference we've created on the spring water available in this place. And here's a really interesting example where we have two different springs, one developed within our water retention system and one outside of our water retention system. Now here you can see what they call the Copper Cup Spring behind me. This is actually tapped up there in the woods. You can see the spring box up there, and even higher up there is the tapping. And so this is our control for the project. This is the flow that we would expect without having implemented all of that water retention. When we tapped this spring and the spring out there, they were the same flow rate. Now, when I go and test the flow rate with this Copper Cup, this spring takes 80 seconds to fill the cup. The other one takes 6 seconds. Just to show you how long 80 seconds is, I bet by the time this cup fills with our overflow down here, I can explain to you why that's so cool and inspiring. So what we've done here is we've created a 10 times increase in the flow rate of this spring at the driest time of year. So we're at the end of a long, hot, dry summer. We're at the time when we need water most. Without the work that we've done, we would expect the same kind of flow rate that we've got here. with the work that we've done, holding that water seasonally in the ground, recharging that landscape, that spring is now flowing at 10 times the volume of our control spring here. So that means more water, more life for everything living on this landscape. And this was done just within a couple of years. And this cup is so far from full. It's maybe 2/3 full right now. So I got a whole bunch of extra time. So if you imagine coming to these two different places, there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds, your cup is totally full and overflowing with the lifeblood of the earth. Here, still waiting for this cup to fill. And so it just shows you how huge of a positive impact we can have. This is just in a couple of years' time. What we did over there, and then here it's actually forested. There it's actually exposed. So if anything, we would expect this spring to stay stronger over time. And now, just now, the water's overflowing. To show you how long that took. So this really shows us just how big of a positive impact we can have on landscapes, and how we want to have the biggest environmental footprint possible by having a really positive footprint on the landscapes that we call home.
Nowadays, water is expensive, and whether comes as drought or flood. In times like this, it's a no-brainer to capture the rain that falls across your land. Ponds are one of the fastest, most effective ways to build water wealth and water security. But where do you start? How do you find the right place to build a pond? How do you deal with permits, machines, and contractors? And most importantly, how do you build water systems that will stand the test of time? The Water Stories core course was created to answer all these questions and more. Whether you own 10,000 acres or none at all, the core course will help you achieve your water goals. Save tens of thousands of dollars or more on project costs and water bills. Create decentralized water retention features that hold and restore water supplies across generations. Learn how to find the perfect locations for pond building on your land and get the right heavy equipment and contractors for the job. With the core course, you can make water fit your context, whether you're a farmer, rancher, landowner, or just want to build earthworks as a professional. Most of all, we want to help you create a stable, water-rich ecosystem on your land and create water wealth for the next generation. The Water Stories core course, live and self-paced, is available now.
So up above here, we've got 4 different water bodies and ponds holding the water in this landscape, letting it slowly infiltrate and recharging this aquifer coming out as all the spring water down here. And so we've got pond all the way up over there, wrapping water around that hillside, over into the water bodies up here, another water body right up in here, spills down into this lower one below. And we're gonna just walk over and see what the flow rate of this spring is like now. And what's really amazing too is it's not just this spring anymore. It used to be just this one spring at this time of year. Now it's many coming out of the hillside all throughout here. So early on, we had one form right behind me here. You see all these rushes, this tree is going super vigorous. We've got water continuing to flow down through here, even though it's not overflowing our system above. And then we've got a whole slew of springs all in through this side. So as we walk through here, we see all sorts of spring flow coming out all along here, and then we're getting to the spring that we actually developed here. So you see right away the huge difference in flow rate. I don't have the copper cup with me now, but this is just 6 seconds to fill. And it's really nice, healthy amount of water. This was the same flow rate as the one over there at the time we tapped it. In this case, we've got a nice stainless steel spring box here. This is the primary springs. We've got the spring developed in this hillside here, coming into this spring box here, and then overflowing right into our trough. And here the flow rate's so strong, we don't even need a valve in the system to build pressure, because it gives you plenty of water just as is. This leads to cool, oxygenated, structured, highly vital and life-giving water coming into our water body here, keeping it really nice, healthy water quality. So here, all sorts of frogs. I'm sure there's other stuff as well now. Beautiful bench of wapato, an indigenous staple food here. Cattail, another indigenous food here. Really just growing themselves on the edge of this water body. Got a whole nice bench of wapato there as well. And hopefully it'll just colonize this whole edge over time. Nice little springy diving board to jump off of here. Cool down, enjoy the water. A couple of air stones, providing extra aeration in the water as well. So these earthen dams do a really good job of stopping the water right where they are, allowing the water to flow into the hillsides on either side. And so we want to just slow the flow of the water through the earth.